Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and what we're going to go through is live analysis, forward-looking analysis here. Tomorrow we'll have JTrader, Stocks Trader, every Wednesday, 10 a.m. East Coast time, and we'll go through the tomorrow we'll have JTrader, Stocks Trader. We'll go through live trading. He'll take some positions. It is in demo paper trading mode, just so you know. For any sort of compliance reasons. It is to learn about how to peek over the shoulder of a professional trader and how they're using order flow and reading it for their specific ways of trading. We have Scott Bolsini, a futures trader, on Thursday doing the same thing. All right, so that's our agenda for the week, and then I'll be back on Friday to go through that. General disclosure, we'll just go through these quickly, and then we're going to jump right into the S&P E-mini or whatever it is you guys want to look at. All right, so general disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor trade recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So let me know if you have any questions in here. Put them in the questions. We're just going to jump right in here and look at some of the order flow. And I also need to go through a few different things in the bigger picture here. It's quite important that we go through that. So we usually just jump in and read the order flow immediately and then get to the bigger picture. So let's do that. This is what we're looking at. It's pretty topsy-turvy, as you can see. Move down in the overnight. We see some demand down in these areas. They are pulling away from the market, though, this liquidity down here before 7 a.m. And then looks like we found some buyers in here just after around 7:30 or so. You can see the buyers start to come in and move price up and through a swing here, previous swing right here. Okay, move down, swing, move down again, and we also have VWAP here as well. We're looking at VWAP yesterday and saw some really nice things off of the VWAP. And then we see the buyers come in and rather relentless buying back up, and they break the swing here. And then really right now it's just a cluster. It's a mess here. We see the 9:30 cash open here, high liquidity in the book in these areas here. Trades into it, looks like, trades through it, it looks like. They come back in again here at 41.50. Looks like they transacted yet again in here. We see these large transactions at these areas of high liquidity, and still more selling pressure. They come in and we see more sellers down at these lower areas here below the figure. Okay, 41.45 or 42.5 here to 40, and then we see the buyers coming in yet again, and now we have broken the swing high here. Let's take a look at these buyers here. This looks great. I don't see a lot of icebergs. I'm looking for them to trade up to 68 and 70 here. All right, just a knee-jerk reaction read of the order flow here, you know, from what we see in here, what we're looking at is we're finding buyers. The bid is okay. It's not bad. And here come the buyers. Okay, we're almost up at our first level here, and still looking for 41.70 though. We see just look at this kind of shelf here, buyers back again here. Some buying, some selling. Okay, it's really kind of back and forth. Here it starts to show a little bit different hand. We're starting to see more buyers up here. They trade into this high liquidity here. More buyers yet again. More buyers yet again. Okay, we're making slightly higher highs or equal highs here. And then in here, well, we see some sellers in here, some sellers in here. Not a whole lot in here. Okay, not a whole lot in here. And then our buyers here. So we got our breakout, and now we can see that it's immediately being tested by the sellers, it's really all over the place here. They broke down below this area here, but now we're back above it, looking for buyers to pound it higher into 70 here. Let's see if they can do it. That would be the primary scenario. Here's why. Sellers down here, we're already above them. Okay, we're already back to where there were previously buyers up here. So we're looking for buyers to try to take control and move it away from this area here. And that's not happening, as you guys can see. Now, this is going to be the battleground right here, okay, at this 64 area. As you guys can see, look at how we're below it, we're above it, we're below it. And we're looking for some follow through here. Okay, let's see if we get our buyers again. The bid looks pretty good. We're getting our buyers. Let's see them follow through now. The bid is kind of tenuous in here. It's you know, they're pulling as well. There's our answer. But I'm still looking to see if we can get back up here above it at 64 3/4 here. There they are. All right, there's the bid. Let's see it. More buyers here. They want to see them really take control here, and they're simply not. In fact, it's more sellers below it here right now. So scenario number 2 is sellers now taking this back down to 60, and here they go. Okay, the order flow just shifted and changed here, and it changed right in here. Let's see if they've already made it down to the swings here. Looking for them to take it down to here, 60. Boy, here they come. We're going to see nice stop runs here. Let's see if they can get it back to VWAP here, more than just what they've already done. Looking for VWAP and then also 4150. Let's see if they can get down into that area here. So a very quick shift in the order flow right there. We can also look at a trend line in here. Just looking at some structure here, market structure, putting just some lines on here and starting to understand some of these levels in here. Okay, so we can go through this again here, and this shift and this change, everything looking good for the breakout, looking for 70, 68, 70. We got the 68 here, found sellers immediately, and then this was the battleground. Okay, sellers below it, buyers above it, sellers below it. Some buyers here, they could go for it here. It failed. Sellers below it here, retest. Sellers again looking for the breakdown. Okay, first areas here. The first areas for in general. Okay, now we called out 60 because that's where the liquidity was, but we'll go through it here in a quick review. And then we called for VWAP here, but also this 50 area here, because that's where the liquidity is. We don't really see it around VWAP right now. And there's our move to 50 right there. All right, so now, and why did this play out so quickly like this? Right, there's a lot of people on the hook up here buying. Right, you can see a stop run here to the upside, and then look at the stop run here and here. All right, so we'll see if we get some buyers now after the stop run and maybe a bounce off of 150 back up to 155 here, 41.55 that is. All right, so yeah, let's see if we can get that. I don't see it yet. Wow, the bid is, or the offer is really showing some size here. Well, it's not a whole lot of size, to be honest. Now it is. There's 400, and we found buyers. So it looks like it's going to be that kind of session here. It's going to be all over the place. This is why right here, high liquidity on the offer. Buyers took them on. All right, let's mark up that area as well, because this is going to be kind of an important area right here. Well, it's right at the figure, okay, at 41.50. Above it, below it. Boy, look at the offer here, really just following it down here. So looking for 45 here. Yeah, it looks like we're not finding any buyers here, so we're down at 45 here. Okay, let's see if they can get down to 40. That's really kind of the key area here is actually 40. Reason being that is the cash low here to test. Okay, down here at 40, and there's liquidity already there. Interestingly enough, I thought we'd get our quick move back up into 55 here. Nothing shaking there. On just a retest, bounce off of 50 back up to here. And that is VWAP, by the way, as well. Or a little bit lower. Another thing, we have a lot of data coming out this week, so that is something else to consider. Okay, we have FOMC and we have non-farm, and those are just the biggest events. And the market is going to be very reactive to these events, and we're seeing some of that reaction
Slow
already.
computer.
Okay. All right, hold on a minute here. I'm going to close some instruments and I want to take a look at, take a bigger step back here and look at the higher time frame. All right. Boy, that offer is really showing up more here. We're not finding buyers. It's repelling buyers. So we're still looking for a 40 level down here. Lows of the cash session to be tested here. All right, let me kind of circle back here and see if there's any questions you guys have. Okay, all right, MC Loco, yeah, you're looking at some specific levels there. And let me check in YouTube. Nothing yet. Okay. Chilling with Dylan, good morning as well. All right, so we're good there. Interesting move. So there is some demand in here, or we're finding some buyers here. Okay, they want to trade into this guy here. There it is. There's the transaction. So, you know, here, this is what the market and this is what the order flow is telling us. We found buyers. Okay, this is undeniable. This is just fact. And we're looking now to see what happens after this big transaction. We're getting buyers back up above it. If so, the next stop is up here around 54. 55, our 55 pullback that we were looking for earlier. Okay, you can see that not getting our buyers up above here, at least not yet. Let's see if we get them this time. Circle back and let's see it, buyers. Let's see if you have any juice in here, and then looking for a quick move actually back up into 53 to 55. Okay, a little bit of demand here on the bid. And starting to find those buyers. See how the order book gives us some insight in there? Boy, and they went right after it, actually, the sellers. So it's going to be kind of volatile in here. Here they go again. They're still bidding, though. We're still finding buyers. So I'm still looking for this higher move here. Okay, due to the order flow in here. And there we go. We're at 54-ish. Okay, there's our move, 55. All right. Now, that would be the first target that I would be looking for in here due to this large transaction large transaction, as well as this high liquidity in here at 55. Okay, previously. Okay, they pulled, but boy, you can see we went even above that already, right back up into 60 and liquidity there, or just shy of it. And now we're starting to find some sellers. All right, so it's going to be pretty topsy-turvy day today, just by what we're reading in the order flow so far. And it's not so much about projection of areas here. In general, we're getting a feel for market participants and activity in the order flow, and this is something Bookmap excels at. Okay, we're reading what the reaction to specific areas, and we're talking about orders, we're talking about transactions, we're talking about the way that it is relating to these areas. See how volatile this is? Come back in, and now look at them pound it down below this area, but back down to where this large transaction. Now it happens to be the figure as well, okay, but that's where this transaction took place. There's gonna be something interesting happening here. All right, this is why, and this is what we're gauging in here. And this is something that Bookmap, like, you know, I don't really mention this too often, but we've had lots of old floor traders you know, come in and start using Bookmap, and their reaction was, this is the first time that I've ever been able to kind of read the market like I used to on the floor, and being able to understand some of these just the kind of the feel, the tone of the market, being down on the field, the playing field, and the tone of the market. And we're reading it right now, okay, by the size of these transactions, the speed of these moves, and starting to understand the traders, the players, and by the order behavior in here in the transactions. All right, are there any questions on that? Like how, you know, how to start to read the tone in here? Okay, so for example, you know, I know that it was Scott Pulcini actually mentions this quite a bit. Being able to read the or no, he talks about things that this is, you know, the fact is the transaction took place. That is fact. Okay, the tone around this is the art part. Okay, so what would I say the tone is right now? I'd say it's all over the place. I don't see any edge right now. Okay, I see, you know, we were looking for this move back up. We got it. Look at the structure here, and then what's the reaction around this structure? Well, we're kind of tapering off on some volume right now, so I'm not really seeing much of commitment. It's just bashing around in here, and it's right at VWAP, for example. Okay, and we're pretty close to a high volume node here at 4150 due to all these transactions, especially this one here. In fact, let's see what that looked like beforehand. Yeah, it was still an important area due to these transactions. Okay, so see how we're not, look at the like, I'm so bad. What would you say? I mean, just look at the kind of reading the tone in here. Now starting to see a bit of buying here, okay, but it's kind of equal to these sellers over here. So who's in control right now? And can you give a real definite answer? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of all over the place. It's like, well, it could shoot up here. Sellers came in and pounded it away from that area, as you can see. So they can come in again and do that. And due to light volume that Marcus Brutus is saying, like, you know, we can anticipate and expect some chop. Exactly. That's a great comment there. Okay, but we know where the supply is. It's up here at 59 or 58 and a half. I do have Hero. We can turn that on and get some insight on that. Okay, I have it in the sub chart and the cumulative. I also have it on chart. I'm just not showing it. And guys, I mean, we have so many add-ons, so many indicators like stops and icebergs, and I have it in the sub chart. I don't have it on chart at the moment. When we find good examples, we'll go in there and take a look at it, and I'll turn them on. But we have I don't want to gum up the order flow chart right now, and just stick with this kind of clarity and this tone right now. I think this tone is something that we don't discuss too often. But this is such an edge. It can offer such an edge by just kind of understanding, like, you know, how traders feel about an area that you can read in the order flow. All right, so that is like what Scott says as the art part. Anyway, so here's how I've got this filtered on chart. Maybe we'll use 1,000. Okay, so That's why it doesn't show. But yeah, we should see it now. Okay, and yeah, here's what we saw. We saw some buyers coming in, and we were like, you know, it was right in here, and you know, they did take control here. Okay, well, we didn't really know that, right? And we did notice this is where the supply is up here, and the buyers could go after that, and they did. Now, it didn't look so great, and you know, we were anticipating sellers, or there was a scenario for sellers to come in and just pound it away from that area. Okay, and let's see if they do it here. See how this is a trap here. See how we've covered this several times, in this, even yesterday we talked about the trap, and we look for a stop run after the trap to verify it being a trap. Okay, and it would be this volume here. Okay, see how our structure works, and this is our pivot line right in here, 57.5, and there's our move back to VWAP already. So this is quick moving, but we just talked about this scenario here, about moving right back down, and sellers coming right back in like this. Now, when might they do that? Okay, I'm going to pose that question. When might they do that to you guys? Not to you guys personally, but posing the question to you. And look at them, relentless, going for the bottom of the range again, or you know, bottom of the session here. Fake breakouts is a good answer. MC Loco, change your icon, looks like. Yeah, okay. Or is that you? No, then maybe it's an imposter. Elon Tusk. Okay, got it. You have to be careful these days, since I was hacked. Yeah, just so you guys know, a disclaimer now. Yeah, I nor anyone at Bookmap or associated with Bookmap is going to reach out to you directly asking for passwords, or solicit you for sending money for some sort of crazy service with amazing results or performance. Okay, we will not do that. So don't fall for it. Yeah, I mean, look at the volatility just right around even here, and we don't know that this is going to happen either. Sellers come in like this. I'm looking at, it's kind of over under here, or under over. Again, another kind of pivot, just like up here. Now, the answer to the question is, yeah, the false breakout is a good one, the fake breakout. But you got to think about it too. Think about when, and this is going to be, I mean, you could build so many strategies out of this knowledge, and it's really I really you know, take a look at it, do your studying, do your due diligence, and study these kinds of potential setups here. Okay, think about it up here. If you're a seller, or you're a range bound trader, or let's say you are a market maker, like, you know, or, you know, stat arb trader, something like this, you're going to wait until it's away from the average and then trade it back to that average. Okay, so the opportunity is not really in here to trade it back to the average. In fact, the opportunity is to try to look for volume, trading it away from the average, and then get back up in here, and then this beautiful trap set here. Now now they're, and then they trade it back to the average and even below it. Let's see them try to move it away again now from the average. Okay, let's see if they can do it. Looking for buyers to try to stretch it back up to here again. 160. No, they're not. In fact, back to VWAP. Okay, now let's see if we get sellers in here looking for large red dots here, 52.5. because we didn't find buyers willing to go for 60, at least not yet. Now here they go. All right, so here's what happened. Now let's watch, because here we're looking for another. This is where there's an opportunity for those sellers to trade it back to VWAP here. Okay, maybe they'll go one more here to 65. Yeah, looks like it. Looks like the buyers are coming in hand over fist. So looking for them to take it higher here, trading away from VWAP. Look at them on the bid here. We're getting our green dots, looking for them to trade it higher here. Okay, not getting our green dots. Still could be, this could be a bear trap though, or yeah, bear trap. Okay, let's see if we get our buyers. One more leg, just looking for one more leg here up to 65. We might get to 70 if there's enough here. There's enough sellers in here trapped, definitely. Okay, so just about at 65, looking for a pretty quick move through 65. I think we can get to 70 on this one. Let's just step back though and take a look. That'll be the kind of high of the day here at 70 if we can get up there. So it's kind of struggling up here at 65, as you guys can see, and this is where we drew our line in earlier. It's going to be an important level here. Okay, now think about it. If you are you know, a mean reversion trader, and you have a lot of possibilities today to trade it right back down, you can be extremely profitable with this kind of volatility back and forth. You can trade it back up, you can trade it back down, etc. And when we saw this in here, we were looking to see if we got buyers in here to take it. They didn't. Then we're looking for sellers here for them to take it back down. What do? We bounced off of VWAP. We found our buyers here. Now we know. Now we're looking for 60 and 65. Leg 1, leg 2, up to 65. And lots of selling up here. Okay, still looking for it to stretch higher here. And I want to see a big stop run. Okay, anyway, that's primary scenario. Secondary scenario here, what if we get our big red dots down here around 61? Okay, then we're looking for a return back. Okay, first stop would be here at 57, and then our second stop would be at VWAP and this kind of high volume node, or this area in here. Okay, we could even get down to the other side, back down to our 50 level. Okay, here's our move, guys. There's our stop run already into 65. Still looking for them to press this higher if they can. Boy, they're already right back here and testing it where it broke out from. I still think it's got some juice here to the upside. But that was a nice little stop run there. All right, secondary scenario though, and we're looking for it because it might shift here. Okay, looking for maybe a skew in the auction on the offer, more supply here, and then red dots down here. And yeah, we're actually still bullish here. Here's why we're still above where it broke out from. Right now, look at the demand come in, and then look how you can read the order book in here and the pressures. Okay, so they started to show more demand in here, and we got the skew in the auction, and the reaction was buyers. Okay, so we're up at liquidity here at 67. Still haven't gotten to 70. Okay, and they actually pulled at 67. Okay, now careful, very careful here. We're looking for the potential shift in the order flow here and sellers to hit 59 here. Yeah, we're down below our level, or this area here, and we're looking for it. So yeah, the looking for those mean reversion sellers to wait until they can kind of get a shift in the order flow, and also like it's away further enough that they can get a nice move back down. So, and here they go. And this is what we're looking for. This is the scenario here we covered, secondary scenario. We're already here at 59, and we're looking for lower. Okay, we're looking for 56. Okay, and then back down to VWAP, maybe to the other side here. There's a lot of selling. A lot of selling just came in. Okay, we have already gotten the pullback here. And what are we getting? We're getting buyers above it. Interesting. So this has turned into now the new battleground right here. Okay. Right there where they dropped it down and now they're back up above it here. Okay, at this point it could go either way. So we're looking for this. We're looking for a follow through in one of these scenarios here. Okay, and you can see who won. Okay, now it's a bit late now on that. Here's the beautiful big stop run we were looking for up into 70. Okay, so here's what happened in the order flow, and we were looking for that scenario because this was a lot of selling and looking for the move back down lower. We got back up above it, this line, and we see our buyers. And even with this buying in here, I'm still not really looking at it at this point. Okay, we are back up above it, and they got these guys on the hook here, and then there's the stop run. It's really where they picked it up in here, where we're looking for the continuation back up into this liquidity here at 68 and then 70. Right, so it was kind of tricky, but you'll see this move again and again and again. Get the trap, set the trap, and look for the stop run on the other side. Okay, volume at the extremes like this. Okay, now let's see if we get our mean reversion traders in here. They just made higher highs for the day, and let's see if we can when's an opportunity for them. Okay, well, when there's a lack of buying in here, they'll take command. And we start to maybe see structural change first, and then we're looking for that potential move back down into 54. Okay, all right, so you're looking for the overnight low. Or overnight high, I'm sorry. MC Loco, yeah. And just a note on, again, some of these some of the terminology. Why is it important? Because that's all of yesterday's action. Okay, that was the range yesterday. And we need to, it's just like any other range. It's fractal in that regard. Okay, and just like this range in here, this was a previous high here. There's a breakout above it. Look where it pulled back to, top of the range here, and continued on. Okay, now let's see if these sellers come in and are relentless to trade it right back down to 65, and then maybe back down to 60, maybe down to 54 VWAP here. Okay, we're looking for that scenario here. Okay, when is it opportunity for them to come in? The hero indicator is HIRO. It means hedge impact in real-time options. Okay, here come the sellers. Let's see if they can really move this now and just pound it back down to 65. Okay, just about there already. And I want to see them pound it through this our line here. See if they can do that. And we'd be looking for an order flow shift in here. Here they come, leg 1, now looking for leg 2. There it is. Okay, they at least they traded it back down here. Now let's see if we can trade through it though. Not really seeing an appetite for that selling yet. All right, let's see if they come in right here at 66. And let's see if we get the offer here to show some size. Maybe they pull at 63. There we go. Looking for them to pound it down to 63 and maybe 60 here. Okay, pretty critical line here, as you can see. The breakout, the structure. All right, sellers, let's see what you got. Let's see if you can do it. Or is it going to be a false breakdown here? I'm looking for them to take it down to 60. Okay, it's not a trade recommendation. It's just reading the order flow. Okay, we got a little insight here. We found some buyers here. See how we can gauge the testing of the market here? We're still below it on sell side, so looking for them to take it lower still. And S&P is moving really nicely here. We've seen some nice moves here, and you know these are like 10-point moves. So and pretty quickly. So it's some nice volatility for sure. I love it when the S&P is like this, and when it's not, it is really enduring. The rotations are just so enduring, and yeah, it's like watching paint dry. I can't imagine bonds, but we got some bonds traders in here. One thing about bonds, boy, you can get your size on, that's for sure. Large players trading the bonds in here. All right, sellers, let's see you try to pound it yet again. Looking for it. Seeing some buying in here, but boy, are they going to be on the hook if we get and look for a stop run to the downside here. Just looking for some sellers at 61. There they are. Let's see if they can push it through. There's 60. Wow. Okay, let's check out 60. Hasn't quite traded yet. Has not traded yet, but look at, there's some icebergs in front of it absorbing. Interesting. This might be a really important level here. Look at now they're defending it here. 135 contracts. I think we're still going to trade it, and looking for them to kind of pound through it here. But we do see the icebergs coming in. Let's turn our icebergs on chart. And I'll use the automatic threshold. There we go. All right, there's our icebergs. There's our answer. There's the move. It was 1,480 icebergs, and they canceled too. Look at that. Interesting. So they have more. They're just going to cancel and look for a different level. It looks like. Beautiful stuff. God, Amazing, amazing stuff, amazing transparency. That's just amazing to me. This iceberg had been in here since back here. In fact, this player here started to transact back here around 10:37 and 30 seconds, then pulled it, added it lower here, and then stayed in the book here, and then ended up canceling after getting filled for almost 1,500 contracts here. And look how he's getting filled here. You'll see this trick again and again, and it makes really good sense. I think it's very intelligent. They're getting filled in front of high liquidity. So this is front running, and they might even be front running their own liquidity. They're definitely front running somebody's, and they got filled, and not entirely too, which also gives a little bit of insight there. Okay. All right, so we talked about this. They pounded it through. Well, they didn't really pound it through, but we're looking for the VWAP 55. Now it's at 55, was at 54. Do you guys have any questions on that? Like, how to understand, like, when this environment that we're in here is this really back and forth. We're seeing these pretty big swings, and able to understand when it might be an opportunity to trade it back to the mean. And here it is. And we talked about this one as well. They can come back down to 50 here. Okay, they've already gotten it to the mean. All right, so we're going to get some profit taking most likely here. We'll probably get a bounce back to 60. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're looking for our stop run. We got one or a couple in here. They're not that big. I should take that back. They're pretty big. Well, let's just turn it on chart instead of try to do the math. Okay. Yeah, 293 and 267. Okay, well, not the biggest, but not bad. Not bad. No questions on that. No questions to when to start to understand when there might be an order flow shift. When other traders might want to engage to trade it back to the mean. Okay, we're talking about sentiment here. We're not talking about technicals here necessarily. We're talking about order flow and opportunities. And then we're anticipating that behavior from traders, and then looking for that behavior to unfold. Alan, I can't agree with you more. Like looking at at the notes or the bonds, that really good to show auction market theory and understanding how that works. I totally agree with you because it's so slow moving, and really understand, because it's only moving a few ticks or so. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's a great suggestion. Okay, because what we can't, I mean, we can zoom in here and we can look at this and read, and think, okay, well, some buyers higher highs. All right, let's see if they can reach 55. They're on the move here. They're transacting up here. So look for it. But then it's moving and it's just volatile in here. So now we're back down to the low and finding sellers. We're going to look for them to trade it down to 50. Okay, so this is kind of like the trap that we just talked about on much higher time. Well, not much higher, but higher time frame. And then here's the move to 50. Right? They had the opportunity here to move it back up. This is where the sellers came in. They already auctioned here earlier. We're looking for the move down. Okay, we got it and then some. All right, and then what we just went through very quickly, we went through up here as well. Okay, on this higher time frame. And we can do that on a monthly chart or a daily chart. In fact, I want to show you guys the We haven't even gotten to the higher time frame. I just kind of went on a rant here. But we're back down at 41.50. Okay, well, that was a 20-point move. So nice movements here. Really nice moves. All right, back down to these areas here, 41.50. I don't really see anything now. I'm starting to see some buyers come in, but likely just kind of hacking around in here between the low here on this swing and back up to 53 or so, 48 to 53, or maybe 55 VWAP. We'll see if there's enough sellers to back down here. Then we're looking to revisit the lows here. Okay, 45 and then 40. Okay, back to 40 again. Okay, which is the low of the cash session. Yeah, it looks like sellers are going to go for it. Okay, so they still have some juice in here, it looks like. So looking for them to take it back down to first stop here, 45 liquidity, and then 40. All right, no questions on this. No questions on understanding like these areas. It's really the same thing that we're looking for. When is it an opportunity? Well, here, trap volume, back up into these areas in here, and here's where they started to move it away. They couldn't get back up into 75, and then we're looking for that continuation here. Okay. I'm going to take the hero off here. Just one insight on the hero indicator. These are pretty large transactions here from options, real-time options, 3K, another 3K here, and they are buying. So the hedge impact is to buy futures. So you'd be looking for the move higher, right? Now, one of the things like when you're up at highs already and you start to see this, be careful. In fact, look for it to go maybe the opposite direction. When you get maybe something that's going to the downside up here, that's can be insightful. This is something to, boy, you really take that as a grain of salt. This is something to consider and to study and to take a look at. But we're not, looking for this to give insight to the upside at this point up here at highs. Okay, if this was negative 3K or red, then we'd be looking, that might give us some insight back down in here. Okay, anyway, all right, well, so yeah, let's take a step back. Let's take a look at our bigger picture here, and I'm gonna have to go beyond the rhythmic RTrader Pro charts here because we're in new ranges here. Okay, we were looking at the daily here and the recent action over like what is this 3-month look back. We're beyond that now, so we got to look back further. We spiked yesterday below this swing here at what is it, 4100 basically, and then back up in the range here. Okay, nice little squeeze back up into the range here, end of the day, guys. And then look at how they just kind of tapped above the swing high here today. From yesterday's high. This was around 41.65. Okay, so we just saw that now, right? And this is getting back to someone else. Okay, Doug, I need to reach out to you later today. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault. Anyway, Doug's saying traders are selling calls and puts in SPY. Doug, enlighten us. Doug's got some great strategies with options, and he's using the hero indicator, and he's looking at SPY. He's looking at the Qs as well, ETFs combined with the e-mini products. All right. Okay. So anyway, let's go beyond this this chart for a moment here, and let's get into this one here. And this is just the S&P futures over. It's a daily chart, right? And just looking at kind of the bigger picture here. Maybe it's better to go to a weekly, but this is the recent action that we were just looking at. Okay, over 3 months, was it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is as far as we got here, right? And what I was just showing. And you can see we spiked down below it. Where is the next area? Okay. Where would you guys look for the next area? Okay. Once it starts to break into through some of these areas in here. Okay. Where would you look? What do you think? 4,000. Okay, going with the big figure. Yeah. No, and we're talking about order flow here. We're not talking about, I mean, it might be the bigger figure, but no, we're talking about the kind of a clue here is market structure. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right, MC Loco, but I'm looking, I mean, where do we look for areas in here for it to test, for example? We're just going to take that and expand that to the higher time frame, right? So we were talking up in here. If we can get sellers back down through here, it's pretty, you know, easy for them to cut back down to the lows here. We mentioned that several weeks ago. Okay, so and we'd be looking for it down to here. So now, if this is as far back as we can go, where might we think it might go the next area? That's the question. All right, so I'm getting a lot of 4140s, 42 plus, 43, kind of, there's a lot of answers in here. We're looking for these other wicks down in here, okay, where buyers came in previously. And it's here. You know, there's one here, and there's a few days in here. Let's just zoom into that area. Okay, so there's a few days of activity here on the daily, right in here. All right, so here's 1, 2, and 3 days. So it's a zone, but somewhere around in here. And let's put in a horizontal line here, somewhere around in there. Right, so that would be, yeah, 40 basically. So I don't know if anyone put that in. I don't see 40. Let's check out our YouTube. No. All right, so now let's zoom out. Okay, and we can raise this a little higher here. You know, I mean, we're looking for, you saw what we did, okay, and why we put it down here, okay, right here, right? There's another one right here, right? If we just move that up, okay, and then let's go back and take a look now. So it's a zone, right? And you'll see that's what we tagged yesterday, okay, right to it. All right, so and we're looking at these areas here because that's where we saw there was a move to the downside and a move back up. Okay, now the move back up here, nice, you know, nice kind of grinding move, definitely bullish, there's no question about that. But look at the way that it's grinding higher. Okay, so it's not like these big green candles moving away from an area. It's kind of like, yeah, inching higher, inching higher, inching higher, and then boom, pullback, pretty deep pullback, and then it comes back up and breaks out here. Here's your, you know, kind of a structural break, and now buyers above it, and then inches higher, and then boom, pullback. Okay, so you know it's not too convincing, this kind of move here. it's kind of nervous bullish action, basically. You know, we're looking for and understanding the buyers down in here and them moving it away. Okay, so kind of understanding this order flow or this behavior in the candlesticks just by looking at the size of the candles in here. Okay, this one is better. Like this is where it breaks out in here or here, some of these swings, because we know there are buyers down here and we know that there was a nice move away from that area. So that's where we look for pullbacks or tests for the downside. When the sellers come in and we're looking for it, that's where we want to go. And you can see this one, it blazed through it in here. Okay, there was actually in the daily, like there's a big candle that had a wick here, so it did pull back here, and then it went through it, and it came back up, and look where it retested here. This swing, not these swings so much, okay, but this swing up here, tapped it above here. Okay, here's your false breakout, and then you move back down. Okay, now I know that's just really in general here. The same concepts though, you know, we can see in the order flow, and you're gonna see in the order flow, okay, by looking at and covering it in Bookmap. This is a nice one here. I like this one better because there's some pretty strong buying off of that, and then they really kind of moved it here. Here it went back and forth for a while before it moved. Okay, so I like this one here better, and we got some really nice action off of that one in here. Okay, we see the move down below it, but it came shot back right back up and then back down, and then you can see we were all over this last some months ago. Okay, and then all over it on the way back down here as well. So a little bit tricky on some days in here for sure. There's one in particular I recall. The order flows just didn't look very good, and yet they just kept on. It just kept on dropping. Anyway, point is, you know, starting to understand some of these areas in here, previous activity, and then looking for tests into those areas here. Okay, see how the market reacts to those areas in here. Same idea as in any of these areas here, okay, that we're looking at on smaller time frames. Here we're back to VWAP and above it. Okay, so this has obviously been important level here today, and look at the breakout above it here. You know, we've been covering higher time frame and we missed this here. Okay, but we can see that the breakout above it, stop run as well, and they have been buying off of it, and here they are again. Look at that, relentless. Okay, so you can see the shift. Now that was hard to see. That they just came in and started buying hand over fist, and we're going to see some stop runs in that for sure. And they're still buying, right? Well, let's watch this here, because like we have the potential again for they're moving it away, so I'm still looking for it to come up to 65. Okay, it's pretty nice strong buying here. Okay, but we may see like that dry up, and we may see the sellers, and they're going to move it right back down to 55. And now how much are they going to get out of that though? 5 points? You know, it's not much of an opportunity. Maybe 50, you know, you can get it through and push it down through VWAP down to 50. It's a little bit better. Okay, that would be kind of the bottom of our line here. Okay, and we see liquidity down there as well. Yeah, Cyprian, you were saying the 4220, okay, or 4020. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, and because of a gap. Yeah, is it clear my answer and what you know, to consider looking for understanding and order flow on higher time frames? Because what I want to get at here is understanding what the gap means in terms of concept and also in terms of order flow. Just because it gapped, and we read about gaps in books, and I don't mean to beat up on you at all. That is not my intent, and no offense at all. I want to just get at concepts of order flow and what the meaning is of some of these things. Okay, a gap means that basically there was strong buying or selling away from a previous area. That when the market opened up, there was a huge gap. It already had moved, basically, or buyers and sellers had already thought of something different than a previous range, and it gapped, and it usually gaps and goes, and then you'd be looking for the gap to fill later because it didn't auction quite properly. But it depends. If it's a gap to the upside and you see more buying pressure, look out. They're going to go higher. Right, and then you'd look for sellers later to trade it back down to that gap and have it auction there. All right, so just understanding what the concept is, okay, and instead of just going, oh, it's a value area high, value area low, it's a low volume node. Well, what does it mean? And then taking it from there. Okay, and what does a gap mean? Well, it just means, like, let's suppose there's a gap in here. Let's just go through a scenario here. Okay, so let's suppose this is a gap, and that price came out and opened up here, okay, above 62 or 61, whatever it is here. Right, so now did they gap and go? No, I'd be looking, it's already partially filled here. Okay, well, all right, well then if they're not going to buy in, I'm looking for them to trade it right back down to the gap here. And it is exactly the same concept here. This is where buyers took it and immediately moved it away. All right, so this would be the fill down here. All right, and this would be the kind of, we talked about these kind of pivot points in here. Right, now we're getting a double top. They're retesting it back up here to see if there's any more buying pressure up here. Is there? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there are. All right, so this still has the potential to run back up into 67 and 70, maybe our 75. And now we just need to read the order flow up here. Did we get our buyers? No. Right? Did we make a higher high? Yeah, slightly. Okay, that's not bad. How many buyers did we get up here? A little bit. Are they trapped? Not really. Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of curious to see. I don't think it's high probability, but yeah, that we get this breakout here. And there we go. All right, now this could be trapped volume, and we need to be careful here. Okay, and is this an opportunity now for sellers? Not yet. They're not really stepping in, so we're still going higher. Okay, nice trap set here. Now we'd be looking for, we can go through that same concept again here on a gap. This is where it kind of gapped and went. So, and it's here that we want to look at, right here, 64. Okay, so now let's see if we get, does the buying start to wane up here? No, it's still auctioning, still going higher. There's 70, looking for 75. All right, this could be a nice, that's going to be a nice stop run. It is. All right, so now we got another level to take a look at here for sellers to take control below it. That would be here. Okay, great opportunity for the sellers to trade it back to VWAP if they can. And now we have made a lower high here as well compared to previously. See the sellers testing this area here? Let's see if we get them here. If we do, I'm looking for a quick move to 65. We're getting our answer here. They're coming in with more demand here, and we're finding buyers. See how the buyers came in here, okay, on the bid, and we found aggressive buyers. Reaction to this liquidity in here. Okay, now we found some sellers. Looking for them to trade it right back down to 68. And this is turning to a battleground here, buyers and sellers. All right, sellers, let's see what you got. You got these guys on the hook as well. So I'm looking to see if these sellers come in and trade it right back down to 70 here. There they go. They at least took, see how they took them on here at 72.5. So we know we found some sellers here. And we still going higher, still going higher. Wow. All right, let's take a step back here and look at the bigger picture. So we are breaking out and wants to go to 80 here, and that liquidity up here. What about the figure 4,200? Yeah, let's take a look here as well. Higher time frame. Our hourly chart here, we're up at this important level. We had marked this up the other day at 80. Okay, we're way up here at 80 right now. 82. Yeah, I don't know what I think of it yet up here. You know, we look at I mean, these candles in here, like these strong moves, strong momentum, but we're up at a level here. Yeah, I would look for a quick pullback to probably the top of these ranges in here, somewhere between 75 and 73. But we're just seeing buyers and buyers and buyers. There's some selling in here. So what did we say? 73 or so, somewhere around in here, 75 to 73. Let's take a look. There's some at 70 here on the bid. The large transaction in the breakout took place here at 75. Okay, so now we're getting some exhaustion here. Looking for these sellers to come in and try to pound it now, back down to first 79. Okay, and then yeah, I like this area here at 75. Now they have an opportunity here. This has been a nice move to the upside. Let's see them commit. There they go. Okay, see them pound it, move it away quickly. That's how you do it. Let's see if they can continue. We've moved it away. We've trapped this area. Here. Let's see if we get more here. So we already traded to 79. Looking for our 75 level down here. Okay, more liquidity coming in at 77, but we really like 75. Look at this. It's wicked stuff. You know, it's just wicked stuff. Look at this offer come in like this. And we kind of, I mean, we anticipated some of this, like the offer to be lowered here, but this is just being a bully here. This is a larger player. It's the same player that did it, has enough liquidity to do it on two different price levels here. 500, so 1,000 contracts basically to skew the auction here, and show a ton of supply here on two different price levels. So they've got enough to show a lot of supply, and we saw sellers moving it away. We've already traded our 75. That was the target. And I'm surprised to see buyers interested to trade it back toward this liquidity here. Very surprised. And here they go. Nonetheless, see if this guy would test his mettle here, if he's going to stay in the book or not. We're going to see a battle here between 80 and 81. Yep, buyers did take him on at 80. There they go. All right, let's see if they take him on at 81. Oh, okay, David, you're talking about how to get the volume dots here, a solid color. Yeah. All right, so there's a couple different ways to get there. One is you can right click on them here and go to volume dot settings. That's a pretty quick and easy way. Another way is to click on studies configuration up here. Let's do that. And then click on volume dots here. And then you have it on total volume right now. So it shows the pie display. Okay, as you can see, the pie display here that has buying and selling in, but it's total volume. Here it's not total volume, it's volume delta. So you're looking at buy minus sell. All right, so click on that. And I think if you have 77.3, okay, you got it, or above. I think it might be in 7.2 as well. Carol, did I answer your question about the small red dots? I hope. Oh, no, I didn't. What small red dots? Where? These ones in here? These are sellers, aggressive sellers. So these are market sell orders, hitting the bid, taking price lower. Okay, green dots are market buy orders with numbers. Here, yeah. These are stop runs. This is a stop run. Okay, and the beauty on this indicator, the stops and icebergs, we know exactly when it took place and where. The stop run actually took place here. It's only one price level. Okay, it didn't sweep the order book lower or anything like that. It wasn't like a stop run. It was just stops at one level here. Okay, retested 75, and we're back and forth in here. Whoa, look at that. Buyers up and through 80 here. Now, see how we're getting a feel, though, for this auction in here? We were looking for the sellers to push it through, right, down to 75. But look at this. Look how this area here became the battlefield right here. And it's due to this activity here, right? This is how you can start to read and understand order flow. Okay, now look at the buyers back up above that area, this pivot. We were talking about these pivots, looking for pullbacks to these areas in here, and none of them unfolded. It was here. It's up here. And we already knew this was going to be kind of volatile session due to the back and forth that we saw. And this is showing that as well. They're still doing that. buyers above it, sellers below it. This kind of selling in here, someone had talked about how do you know it's profit taking. Okay, this looks, or at least by price structure in here, this looks like profit taking on the buy side. Okay, so these sell dots in here, it doesn't look like new selling coming in. Now I might be wrong on that because there's some pretty good selling in here. The size is not bad, right? So it might be positioning, but in general, just because of the structure, not, let's suppose these were smaller dots in here, and let's suppose these dots the green dots in here were bigger. This would be a beautiful example of some profit taking. Okay, buyers moving away, they're moving the market, profit taking, slow dribble kind of back down, and then looking for buyers to come in again and take this higher. Okay, now we know what happened already. The seller that we've seen these actions to kind of move away very, very quickly, and this is a larger player, coming in and just moving price very, very quickly. Okay, we do have a stop run in here as well, but not much. It didn't even make it on our radar here for stops, which is just a threshold of 27. I couldn't even do it. Okay, so it didn't make it. So then we would assume this is a larger player quickly moving the market and shifting it away from the top. Okay, now we've seen that behavior multiple times in this session here, and look what they were able to do, kind of trap buyers up in these areas, and look at see the move through our level here, our battleground level. See where the sellers came in, look where they pounded it down to. Okay, down to this area here, 75, back to 75. And now we're getting a pullback to that battleground. So let's draw into a horizontal line here. And buyers are above it. Buyers back up above it. All right, well, let's see if they're going to tangle with this where the seller came in, which is kind of highs of the day here. Yeah, they're going to go for it. We're going to see another battle probably up in this area here around 86, 87. AJ, nice. Thank you. Really appreciate you appreciate what we're doing over here. Yeah, the education at Bookmap is very, very different than your kind of typical education, since we're talking about really we're taking market activity at a very basic low level here, or binary level I should say, and understanding like what makes the market move. And that is part one of the market mechanics is part one of our education. Okay, look for Bookmap education on YouTube and you'll see, and understanding like back and forth, and then see how the buyers moved it away. Okay, what is the order book telling us? Well, they're pulling up here, you see that. Okay, they're adding up here or down here on the bid. All right, so let's see if they can move it to 81.25 and 82, maybe 83. More buying. Okay, great. We already made target one or area one. Okay, they're still doing it. They're still pulling. Not as decisive in here now. Okay, I'm not seeing buyers here. I'm seeing sellers here. Well, maybe they'll retest back to this area here where they broke out from. Okay, no, they auctioned down here. I still don't see buyers up here at 81.5. Okay, I see some at 81.25, and I see some down at 80, 81. Okay, here's a little bit of buying, but immediately selling, more selling here. All right, yeah, I'd be looking for a move back down into like 80 and a quarter. More selling. There we go. Okay, same principles. Okay, and look at the order book shift in here now too. Okay, now the order book shift coincides here. It's actually the selling came in a little bit before, but then this reaction to this liquidity in here. Right? If there's enough sellers and they're pulling down here, then we're looking for even potentially lower. You know, maybe 79 and a half, maybe 79. Oh, look, more liquidity here. What's the reaction? What's the reaction of traders? Oh, look at that. More here. Sellers. Okay, back down to 79 and 3/4. And then we got a shift here. Okay, buyers came in, moved it higher. This was, you know, then this kind of happened out of the blue, and we've seen that a bunch of times today, and it kind of, you know, kind of wicked. They came in buying through orders underneath here, 261, and upended all those sellers looking for that lower area to trade. Okay, so there you go. There's a microcosm understanding. Now what we're talking about in here though is we're talking about understanding market mechanics and what really makes the market move in here, and then looking at that for all time frames, okay, as well as candlesticks, right? So we were looking on, you know, and going through a scenario on the higher time frame here of looking for a move back to 73 or 75 here. That has already unfolded. And look at, there's still buying pressure above it now. So interesting stuff. Okay, so are we going to continue to find buyers? If we do, where might they go? Well, we'd be looking at market structure in this case, because that's all we have on the candlesticks is market structure. We do have volume in the subchart, but we don't know where it traded on the candlestick. So mostly we're looking at market structure, and you know, maybe around, someone had mentioned 4,200. That's right here, and there is some market structure there. Okay, maybe that's where we're headed. Okay, or maybe you can get up a little bit higher and into maybe 4,210. Okay, these levels in here. I'm kind of squinting at the market structure in here on the hourly. All right, but we're also open to this being a potential false breakout and a move back in, and then a move back down into some of these other lower wicks down here on the 15-minute chart. All right. Okay, guys, let me get to questions in here in YouTube since I'm on that page, and I don't mean to ignore you in Discord there. Just a moment. Yeah, the Thinkorswim version of Bookmap is more basic. That's true, Vicky. Yeah, if you want, you know, all these different add-ons and additional features, you will need to get the Bookmap desktop version. Yeah, AJ, nice. Thank you for that comment. The way that we simplify the order, or starting to understand supply and demand in here. And it's really a tricky one for a lot of traders, even veteran traders, because they've never really seen it before. They've never had access to it. So they might have been studying for years just volume and structure or an indicator, and throwing an indicator in there. But really understanding what makes the market move. Well, here it is right in front of us. Look at that shift. Why all of a sudden did you get stopped out, or why all of a sudden did this market, like, you know, bolster higher here? It's because of this. This is what was the root cause. And let's see, look, we see, and we've been seeing this. The sellers took them on. They traded into them here. Didn't trade through them here, right? Totally absorbed. This is the technical definition of absorption right here. They could not trade through this demand down here at 80 and a half. Okay, so high liquidity in here. Sellers came in, hit the bid. Let's see how much traded here. 52 contracts in here, but there's still 200 more in the order book. They can't trade through it. Totally absorbed all the selling pressure in here. Sellers try it again here and here. No one's interested. No one's interested. Now we're getting buyers back up here, and let's see them push it back up into maybe 82. And there you go. Right? So understanding these concepts in here, this is, if you don't have that understanding of the order book and the supply and the demand in here, then this is what it looks like. You don't know what happened here. Why wasn't price able to go lower? You know, starting to understand these areas in here, and with just volume and structure, which is really good. Volume and structure is very good, but this adds another dimension here of insight. All right, so I think I've gotten through all of the questions in YouTube. Let me see here and jump back to, and let's go back to current price here and see where are we here. All right, yeah, all right, looking for these sellers in here. See how they're coming in at 80, 88, 87, looking for them to drop it again down to 83. Or, you know, drop it down to these lower areas here where there's liquidity, where there is demand, pulling away from this battleground here at 88. Okay, same concept again, right up here. Okay, back down into here. Bottom of the range, liquidity down here. Okay, pullback already. This is where we got to be careful. Okay, it's a pullback already, but it's on lower volume, a lot lower volume. Okay, even though there's lower volume, what if we get buyers back up above 88? Then look out. You know, we're coming back up to point of control and other side of the range up here. We'd be looking for that scenario. Okay. Instead, we're looking to see, primary scenario is sellers moved it. We're looking for them to support that move and come in and sell hand over fist again and get it back down to some of these lower levels here. Okay, that's the primary scenario. Let's see. Osterman, you can watch this all day. Yeah, I know. It's nice. It's really nice when you know, the markets have some interesting stuff going on in it. It's fascinating. Yeah, there's our move, guys. So that was what the primary scenario. Okay, back down to this 80, well, 84 basically is what it is. We said 83, but it's we zoom in here, it's 84. Okay, it went a little bit lower, 83.5 it looks like. Okay, I'm way behind. My God, sorry guys. Sam Pan, this is the these are the sessions here. You're in the right area for oh, okay, no, you're from Doug P. You're talking about value areas. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Doug, for the updates. Leo Trader, love it. Love your higher time frame levels here. Overnight high taken out. See if we get back into yesterday's range. Perfect. See, look at the buyers trying to pull it back, right? Pull it back away here. Okay, let's see if they can get back up to the critical value area or out area here, 88, and now through it back to 89.5. And let's see it. Is there enough buying pressure here? Looking for it. Okay, now can they, if they can do that, can they get through the high volume node here at 89.5? Not yet. And look at the volume up here on the buy side. Okay, we haven't gotten, I mean, we still might come revisit it. And then we'd be looking, if we get our buyers up here at 89, we'd be looking for the move to 92. All right, buyers, let's see it. Let's see it. Look at here's some supply or some demand here on the bid. There they are. Okay, they're trying. They're trying. And look at the battle. Okay, so sellers, buyers come right back again. I'm pulling for the buyers here, looking for 91 and 92 here. I don't have much of an insight on it, to be honest. I'm pulling for them, but I don't really see much here. It's not that decisive here. Okay, we'll see if it gets decisive now. Let's see if we see some selling came in here. Right, if we get buyers back up above at 89.5 here, I'm looking for a quick move to 92. Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. Quick move to 92. Cannot. Sellers, it's a battle. Look at we've been seeing this kind of activity again and again and again. Right, so we're battling at this small point of control of this range up here. This is a great battle, actually. I like it. Okay, buyers back up. All right, quick move 92. We should get the quick move here. The one caveat is this player in here, who I don't know if he's capitulating or not yet. Not yet. I mean, like we see it here and here. Quick selling. So, you know, does he give up? Yeah, he didn't come in again. He'll come in probably higher here, but you can see our move to 92. Now that didn't unfold quickly, and I think it's because of this guy here. It came in. So here's our move to 92. And let me see here. Oh yeah, MC Loco. I mean, if there's some headline news in here, then yeah, that's something to look out for. All right, look at this, 28K on Hero. 28K. That's a huge options purchase in here, or futures purchase in here, is what Hero is saying. Okay, the hedge impact now is on the sell side. Okay, now we're not seeing it yet, but this is not a signal. It's just insight. Okay, this is huge. There's another one here. Right, but the order flow, regardless of what this says here, or what CVD or what stops and iceberg say, order flow rules. This is just giving us some insight of like, wow, okay, you know, look at this. I mean, we've got some interesting stuff happening up here. This has been a pretty good day. Look at this iceberg. All of a sudden, that was in the order book from way down here, moved on up to here, and is in the book now here at 90, and down here at 88. Yeah. So yeah, they moved right on up from 75 on up. What do you guys think? Do you think this guy's buying here to cover, or is he buying to initiate? I would imagine this guy's stuck, and he's out now. But yeah, he's probably getting really nervous up here. All right, well, here we go. Now we have a little bit of confluence. We have some trap volume up here. We have some selling coming in. We've made highs of the day. Look at the selling. We have some other confluences in here. All right, well, can we get more sellers here? Then we're looking for 85, and we're looking for 80. and then maybe 75. Okay, first stop would probably be yeah, 85 here. I know that's just a few points, but you know, bottom of the range here, maybe a little bit lower, 83.5. I don't see much liquidity down here. That's why I pointed to 85, because of this liquidity here. Okay, the higher liquidity is down here at 80. Okay, I would be looking for sellers here, 86, and then a drop down to, yeah, 80 basically. And that has not unfolded. No scenario here, no sellers down here. In fact, some buying. All right, here we go. Looking for sellers and looking for them to drop it down to liquidity. Okay, bottom of the range. Yeah, 85 still kind of in there. It's a little bit lower. It's, I don't know, it's kind of this bluish area in here. Not too tangible right now. At 80 looks better, but that's you know, further away. And then 75. Okay, now we have some nice confluences. We have our stop runs up here. We have some buying up here into high liquidity. We're at highs of the day, and we have the options in here as well. Boy, I almost want to turn on the maybe I'll talk to you about that, Doug. We can turn on the mic for you and have you come in and say a few words, what you see with this options activity in here. Give some additional insight. I know, I'll talk to you about that. Guys, okay, we're going to wrap it up here and call it a day. We got a new nifty screen here for subscribers, or if you're interested, if you like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you can watch the latest releases as well. They'll show up here in just a minute in the recording. So when you come back and watch the recording, you'll see them here. Subscribe to it, like this video if you like this webinar. That really helps us. So yeah, please do so. And we will catch up with you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have Jay Trader in. He'll be trading stocks live. We always see some pretty interesting stuff there, looking at small caps and large caps. And he also trades options. All right, so yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Look for Tom B coming next. He'll be up next any moment here in the next few minutes. And the streaming will continue here in Discord. All right, we'll have Tom on YouTube shortly. All right, so look for that. But for right now, it's still in Discord, so you have to jump over here to Discord, and we'll continue there. Thanks, everybody, and we'll catch up tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye.